ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। I would suggest everyone, let us do together. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानंद माधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। आजानुलंबित भुजौ कनकावदताऊ संकीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलयाताक्षाऊ विश्वम्भरौ द्विजवरौ युगधर्मपालौ वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरौ करुणावतारौ। So we will welcome everyone. Hare Krishna. For those who are here online, as well as for those who will be watching the video later, um, we covered second chapter up to the 10th verse, and today we are going to start on the from the 11th verse of Bhagavad Gita. Before we do that, let us do a very short kirtan just to um, purify our consciousness. I would request all of you to sing together as we do this Sankirtan. जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। As you are singing the kirtan, you can clap your hands. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango, Jaya Gaura Hari. Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango, Gaura Hari. Jai Satinandana Gaura Hari, Jaya Satinandana Gaura Hari, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। कलयुग पावन हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। हरे कृष्णा। So let us get started. So we are at the 11th verse of the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Let me bring that up and I will share my screen. I know we covered this, but then we were trying to get a little bit to a deeper extent because I thought, like, okay, as we go deeper into this, uh, we'll be able to understand the other portions of Bhagavad Gita very clearly. To the extent we are able to remember, like, what we're covering. Uh, that way, like, the foundation of Bhagavad Gita will start building within us. This is the second chapter, 11th verse of Bhagavad Gita. I want you to all repeat after me. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Maybe you can unmute and say also. So you can just, can you all see my screen? Yes, for those of you who it is possible, you can unmute and say this. Repeat after me. Because when we repeat these words of Bhagwan, when we repeat these words of Krishna, it is most purifying. It purifies us from within. It is our scriptures say that when we remember Krishna, there by remembering Krishna, we are we are very much purified. Um, so you can just repeat after me. Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Bhagavan Vacha
Asochan Anvasocastvam
Anam
Pragnavadamscha Bhashashe
Prajnavadam
Prajnavadam
Bhashashe
Gatasun Agatasumscha
Gatasun Gatasumscha
Gatasumcha
Nanusochanti Panditah.
Nanusuchanti Panditam.
Pandita.
Okay. So now I will request everyone to mute yourself. I will read this once again and then we will go to the description of the translation of this. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Ashochan Anvasocastvam Pragnavadamscha Bhashashe Gatasun Agatasumscha Nanusochanti Panditah. Translation. So the translation of this goes like this. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, so Lord Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is saying to Arjuna, while speaking learned words, you are speaking very learned words, but you are mourning for what? You are lamenting for that which is not worthy of grief. Okay. You are lamenting, but you are just being tensed and you are lamenting for something which is not really worth that much. Okay. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. Now, this is a very strong statement. Those who are wise, they lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So, Krishna is saying here very important point. This is a very important verse actually. So, we have to understand when we covered the summary study, at that time, like, okay, we touched upon this. Krishna is, what is Krishna talking here about? Krishna is trying to tell about the soul here. Okay, he's not talking about the body here. He's talking about the soul. So he's telling those who are wise, they lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So let's see. So it starts with Sri Bhagwan Vacha. Okay. So we have heard this earlier. We are reading from the Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita, why this name Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad means Bhagavad word is coming from Bhagavan. Okay. And Gita means Sangeet. Geet means song. Okay. That means song of God. And when, think about it. So think, just try to visualize this. When is this song being sung to Arjuna? When the war has just begun. Siren, for the trumpets have been blown, siren has been blown. Okay, just imagine bullets are going to get fired from both sides. Arjuna is right in the center along with Krishna. And at that time, what is Krishna doing? He is singing the song of Bhagavad Gita. Can you imagine, like, okay, what is this? Okay, what kind of what kind of environment is there? So that, and what is the result of that? Arjun, who was very perplexed, who was very confused, who was bewildered. Okay, from that stage, Krishna is uplifting Arjun and making him ready to go ahead and fight. So I was asking this question just prior to us starting this recording, that why do we need a guru? Okay, so it is true that the guru is required. That was the lesson from, that was the takeaway from the previous session. But why do we need a guru? See, think about this. Even if we have to learn something in material science, okay, we need a teacher. We go to school. Okay, we were taking of the example of the doctor. If the doctor is if the doctor is quite qualified, okay, but he has only done correspondence course, who is there who will get the operation done from him? He will say, I'm a surgeon, I did correspondence course. You did not attend any university. I am not going to get my surgery done, or I'm not going to take my dear ones to you. Similarly, if so, there could be many such examples like this. Okay, so we need someone who is qualified. Okay, uh, so just if we try to understand these scriptures on our own, like, think about this in material senses. Like, here we have our Vatsal Prabhu is there. We both of us used to go for tuitions together actually when we were in 12th grade. And yes, like, okay, if you really want to perform well, you need that specialized knowledge. You need those people who are skilled in that particular area to coach you, so that you are able to uh, get to that standard. See, let's say, like, if you take any sports, like athletes, they all have coaches. And what do the coaches do? They actually know what is the coach knows what is the capacity of this guy. What can he do? He understands the value of that person. But when he joins, when the new sportsman joins, at that time he may not be a weightlifter of, like, okay, a few hundreds of pounds. He may just be like a, and when the coach trains him, he trains him in such a way that is, what he's doing is uplifting him in that skill. So in this material world, we are in the middle of an ocean of turbulent problems. Okay, and we talked about the miseries of this material life, and we talked about those problems which are applicable to all. The miseries of material life are the Adi Atmika, Adi Bhautika, and Adi Daivika. I'm not going into the detail of this, but there are some real problems: birth, death, old age, and disease. Okay, as many times as we come to this material world, we have to go through this. Okay, so the one who is convinced that, okay, oh, I'm just fed up of this life. Okay, I'm just fed up, like, okay, this material world, okay, there is so much problem. Now, how do you know? We don't have to go through each and every problem to really realize. We should look around. I mean, what is the world going through? If you read the news, you see what is going on in Bangladesh. You see what is going on in Iran, this Gaza. Can you imagine, like, okay, what kind of things are going on there? Think about, like, okay, if you are born in that kind of a country, okay, at this time, okay, what kind of turbulence does each and every family have to have? Every day you are feeling, okay, oh, I just got saved. I just lived one more day. Okay, it's terrible. It's always anxiety. Okay, and And what are we talking about? We are talking about, see, one who takes to Krishna consciousness, they go into Vaikuntha. Okay. Kuntha means anxiety, and Vaikuntha means that place where there is no anxiety, which is a place of unlimited happiness. So, how many of us, I want to ask this, like, how many of us think that, okay, we are really looking for unlimited happiness, basically, never interrupting happiness? See, in this material world also, sometimes we get some happiness, but those are very temporary lasting. So, for example, like, okay, if one buys a house, right? I mean, you like the house. Oh, wow, this is very wonderful. Like, they made it very nicely. After 2 days, you still like that house, but still, so far, what happens is, like, as you look into it, 2 days, 4 days, 5 days, slowly it becomes normal. Okay. And after 1 year, it has become an old house. It is not, that kind of fascination is not there. So, same thing is true for every situation in this material life. Would everyone agree with that? That this same is there anyone who disagrees that, okay, in material situation, like, okay, oh, no, no, my happiness is like after I see the house every day, like, okay, or whatever it is, anything, like I see, like every day that enjoyment is growing and growing. Anyone feels like that? Okay, how many of us feel that, okay, we are looking for unending unlimited happiness? Okay, thank you, Mataji. So this is the criteria for one who becomes very, very sincere. Okay, one who is looking for like unending happiness. And Krishna is the source of all happiness. He's Rasaraj. Okay, so he's the source of that happiness. And now, so that is why if you see the scenario, Krishna and Arjuna are in the middle of the battlefield. There, Krishna is giving Arjuna training. Okay. Okay. And it is not like, okay, he has taken him to a classroom. Let's go. We do some katha there. And then after that, you come back and you decide that, okay, whether you'll want to fight her. Are he's right in the middle there. Okay. He's in the middle of that battlefield. He's trying to do. So many people, they say that, okay, see, when this market went down, right? Like, okay, I think it was 2009, this depression when it came, right? At that time, many people would glorify some of the industry leaders that, okay, oh, these guys really took this as an opportunity. Okay, but they may be like, for example, I remember one of the names, like Infosys is Narayan Murthy. Okay, his name really popped out of many industrialists. Like, okay, in India, okay, obviously there are many other people across the world, but if you see, there are many people who may be doing well, but when crisis comes, right, they may panic and they may not be able to do anything. But one whose mind is steady, okay, that person is able to make steady decisions. So here, Arjun is completely perplexed. Krishna is telling him that, okay, what he has to, I mean, what is right for him. And that is how Krishna is coaching him. So it starts with Sri Bhagwan Uvacha. Bhagwan is, we talked about who is Bhagwan. Does anyone remember, like, what are the characteristics of Bhagwan? Yes, Lalu Babu. Anyone else? Okay. Yes, Nandini Priya Mataji, you want to say something?
I like like he has everything like fame, knowledge, that uh like beauty, wisdom, and like all like six opulences. Like he have
Six
God
opulences.
has, yes.
He is first ranker in six opulences. So you told about three of the opulences: fame, knowledge, and beauty. What are the other three, Lalu Babu? Do you remember? Or Vatsal Prabhu also, if you want to share. Ashok Keshav Charan Prabhu. Yes, you can unmute and share. Actually, that camera is tilted, so I can't see the hands actually. It has to be, yes, now it is visible. Yes, Lalu Babu, I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
After fame, knowledge, and beauty, which are the other three?
This family,
Sorry.
family, proudness for family.
No, we are talking about what are the 6 qualities of Bhagwan. Okay, let's go to Lalu Kaku.
This is strength and renunciation.
Yes. So strength, renunciation. We talked about, Nandini Priya Mataji told about
Beauty,
beauty, fame,
wow,
and knowledge. And
knowledge.
Lalu Kaku mentioned about strength and renunciation. There is still one more left. Okay, so that is wealth. Krishna is
Right.
first ranker across the creation in all of these. He is the wealthiest. Everything belongs to him. He is the strongest. He has the maximum fame. So after 5,000 years also we are talking about him. Okay, and he's anyway after 5,000 years of speaking Bhagavad Gita, we are speaking about him. But he spoke this Bhagavad Gita for the first time to Sun God. So till from the time that Sun God is there, which is millions and millions of years back. Okay, so from then on, and the zeros are much more than millions. And then he's the most knowledgeable. He is the most beautiful, and he's the most renunciated despite having all of these. That is the quality of Bhagwan. And see, as we move further, what is happening is, like, we see now in this present age, like, okay, there are many people who are um, atheistic. Okay, they or there are some people that think, like, okay, oh, this Sai Baba or some other, like, this personality, like, okay, this guru, that guru became God. But that is not really what we are saying here. We are saying that, okay, God means he has to have all these 6 qualities. Okay, one who is in full of opulence, then he is God. It will be very difficult to present an ordinary person as God. So there was one personality, I'm not naming him, but he's one of the saints. And he claimed, there are many such personalities who claim themselves as God. They said, like, they are Krishna. Okay, so and many people started following. There are hundreds and thousands of people and millions of people following this person. He's in the southern part of India. So as many people started following him, like, okay, he would just out of, like, okay, out of ash he will bring out a fruit or this, that, like, he has a lot of mystical powers. But we have to understand that mystical power does not mean that that person has become God. Okay. So why we are saying this? Because if we go to the 11th chapter, Krishna displays Arjuna the universal form. Okay, in the universal forms, he shows the entire creation to Arjuna. Okay, he shows that, okay, all the demigods, all the devtas, devis, they are all within him. Okay, all the demons are also within him. Okay, and all the entire creation, like the mountains, seas, and whatnot, we can see the entire creation was within him. And that's how that's how Arjuna and Arjuna at that time, like, he was pretty convinced before that. Like, okay, if we as we go further, we'll know he was very convinced. But for the sake of people like us, because 5,000 years later, like, okay, many people will not be convinced about the supreme personality of God. So Arjuna is asking that question, and Krishna shows this form multiple times actually. Just muting others. So Krishna shows this form multiple times. He shows a portion of this to Yashodama at one point of time. Uh, so we'll go to those details as we come across those. So that, like, okay, people do not have doubt. Arjuna asked that, okay, Krishna, can you show me a universal form? And Krishna shows that Krishna shows that universal form. So if there is someone like who is believing, and I've come across so many people when I started reading Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, I used to think like, okay, oh, who might be thinking that okay, I am God? But then I came across people, okay, they're saying, okay, I'm going to God. I said, which God are you going? Okay, this Baba, he's God. So because someone has mystical power, so if we say that okay, can you show me your universal form? Then we can understand that's a false advertisement that one cannot be God. Can you lift Giriraj Govardhan? No, you cannot. So so the whole problem is that we don't know what is God. We we are thinking with our material conception, okay, what is God? And see, God is someone like who is running this huge universal administration. So he's and if you think of people like us, see, there are many people, there is another category of people who are like, okay, oh, you know what, like, I don't like to hear about this katha and things like that. I was asking someone, like, he said, like, no, no, I don't like this katha because I don't know, like, really, I'm doing well, actually. Whatever I'm doing, I'm doing well. Um, but the real question is, like, okay, see, we are sitting in this room, okay, now we may not be able to know what is happening in the next house. That is the level of our knowledge. Okay. Even if the next house catches fire, I'll not get to know from here. Forget next house. Even in the next room, what is happening, if the doors are closed, I'll not get to know there. Okay. That is our level of understanding. But God is not just conscious, He's super conscious. He knows exactly what is happening at every place. So that is why here when as Krishna takes the position as a guru, right? He starts chastising, scolding Arjun. He's telling, okay, I mean, you are speaking learned words, बड़े बड़े बातें करते हो, and you are just you are mourning, you are lamenting for something that is not worthy of grief. That means, like, okay, what? You are fool number one only. Okay, so here there is something very important to understand. See, this whole thing, this like when we have this, Krishna is telling that okay, you are those who are wise, they lament neither for the living nor for the dead, right? So this thing, many people, they are like bewildered, अरे क्या बोल दिया, right? That kind of thing. So we have to understand this. What is Krishna talking about? He's talking about the soul here. So before we go to the concept of soul, we have to understand another concept here. That is the concept of gross body and subtle body. Okay, gross body is called jada deha. Anything gross is called jada, and anything subtle is called, in Sanskrit or in Hindi, it's called sukshma. Okay, gross body and subtle body. This is a concept. Now listen to this very carefully. The whole existence is a very, very subtle thing. See, this body, if you take the creation is made of earth, water, air, sky. Okay, this is what that Panchabhuta it is made up of. And if you take our own body, it is also made of earth, water, fire, air, sky. Okay, sky means ether. Okay, so that is what Panchabhuta or gross body is made up of. That is how, like, when one person leaves their body, okay, like it goes back to this Panchabhuta. And depending on what kind of rituals are being done, if like okay, one person's body is being burnt, then it becomes ashes. Then it becomes like okay, that there is portion of it that ashes goes into the earth, the ether goes into the sky, like the smoke, right? And similarly, like if someone is being buried, there is a different composition there. So we can go into those level of detail, but in in addition to this, there are also three more elements which are more subtle in nature. That is the mind, intelligence, and false ego. Okay, this mind, intelligence, and ego. So these three things are there. So when we give up this gross body, this subtle body, it travels. Okay. This subtle body is not destroyed. When the gross body is destroyed, the subtle body is still there. That travels. And this is something very, very important. When we say, right, like many people I've heard they say, like when someone dies, they say, Sab khatam ho gaya, everything is now gone. But it is not like that. The subtle body is still present there. So this body, the jada deha or the gross body may be lifeless, but the subtle body is not lifeless. Just like, so just think of this, of an example is at night when we dream, right? What happens? Our body is sleeping, the gross body is sleeping, but the subtle body, that is the mind, intelligence, and ego, they are active. Okay. It is still active, and that is how we enter into a state called dream. Okay. So this subtle body is the one that goes into the next life. And if we see um, in in the eighth chapter, there is a verse that says, Yam yam vapi smaranam loke tvajati ante kalevaram. So that means as like whatever state of being one is in, whatever the consciousness of a person is in, when one quits the body, that state that person will attain without fail. So I gave one example of this in the past, but that time we did not discuss of this details. But now it is time. That means we talked about if one is having a dog at home, very attached to dog, right? So and they love their dog. So what happens is, when at the end of the life, the entire life becomes like a movie. It passes, and from that one picture comes out, that which we are attached to, and that becomes the reason for our next life. So if one remembers a dog, then they become a dog in the next life. If one remembers a cat, they become a cat in the next life. If one remembers their family members, then they are born in that same family. Okay, they they will be again, since they are attached to that family, they will again come back in that particular family. But now no one knows that, okay, this person is that forefather. Okay, now as soon as this person is born, like, okay, because of their karmas, they will be executing accordingly, and whoever is there, they will be passing them. They'll be becoming instrument of their karma. Okay, so now this subtle body, that is mind, intelligence, and ego. So based on this, the dying person, okay, on the consciousness that uh, the thought that comes, okay, the dying man gets a similar body in the next life. And 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 when, so you can take an example of this. So let's say subtle is like this. So let's say there is breeze blowing. Okay, in a garden nowadays, like, okay, uh, many times, like, okay, I have Dinpawan Gauranga Prabhu who is staying very close by, and many days I forget to bring flowers from stores. So when I'm late and, like, okay, I know I have to do some deities services, so I go to his garden and, like, okay, I get some flowers. Like they have a lot of flower gardens. I don't get time to maintain a garden. But when there is breeze blowing, they have some nice rose plants. So I see, like, from a distance itself, if the breeze is blowing, right, you smell that rose. Okay, so uh, so the air is passing, and it carries the flavor of the rose. Okay, it is happening in a very subtle way. Okay, from a distance only I can see that, okay, this is a rose. Similarly, like, we might see, if we pass from a very filthy place, right? Okay, we may not be able to see the filth, but the air is pure, but it is becoming a medium to carry that flavor, which is that filthy smell. Similarly, this mind, intelligence, and this ego, they carry the flavor of our present activities into the next life. So this is a very subtle mystery of transmigration of the soul from one body into another. And And in now the question may come, like, okay, so if that's the case, so how we get assigned this next body? We already spoke about this, right? So we spoke that, okay, whatever is the consciousness, then in that case, like, okay, we will get that we will get the next body accordingly. Now, so how do we get out of this cycle of how do we get out of this cycle? That is, in this life, if we purify just like that rose, okay, so depending on what we are associating it, our next body, subtle body, is getting formed at every moment. Okay, so if we are associating with Krishna, we get that type of body. And if we practice devotion to God, then in our next life, we can become an associate of Lord. So it is said that, okay, Chinta Mani Prakara Sadmashu, in Brahma Samhita it is said that, okay, we are transferred to that planet. So these are, it may sound like, oh, can it be? So if one is constantly in devotion to Krishna, does anyone remember what are those 5 relationships that we can have with Krishna? The 5 relationships that we can have with Krishna, which we talked about in the introduction. I will see, like, okay, how many of them raise their hands up. I can see Lalu Kapu, but no one else remembers. Okay, Nandini Priya Mataji, this time I want you to speak.
Yeah, like friends, like active, passive, like
Yes,
Hanuman,
friend.
friend, like Hanuman, like
Yes.
devotee,
And what are the other?
friend,
Yeah. What are the other examples? Like, just like friend, what else we can become?
and gopis,
Yes. So one is in the as a conjugal love, then there is friends, then there is
and
parental,
mother. Uh,
yeah, parental
right,
relationship. And then what? One is neutral. And which is the fifth
neutral.
one?
Fifth one is gopis, no troubles.
Yeah, conjugal
Like
lover we talked about. We talked
uh,
about friend. We talked
friend,
about parent. We talked
parent,
about, then we talked about,
Hanuman. Yeah, Hanuman,
yes, yes. The other one is, fifth one is servant.
servant.
Servant. Hanumanji is a servant. Dasya bhav. So these are the different. So if one is constantly is in the mood of service, then what happens is they are elevated to that particular position. Okay, and they are able to participate in the pastime of the Lord. Think about it, like when the Lord's pastimes are going on, when Krishna's pastimes are going on. Let's say one of you decides, okay, oh, I'm. They are always meditating, like, okay, on Krishna, okay, and when while serving this, the Guru reveals what is the identity of this person in the spiritual world. Okay, there are many devotees who have been revealed what their identity is. And as we look into these devotees' lives, our lives become like a full of joy. Because for a materialist, they may be enjoying in the current life, but what happens is their enjoyment is only short-lived. Okay, because as soon as the pious credits are done, then all these different things happens. But for a devotee, once the devotee is continuing to do these devotional practices, they are slowly and steadily getting qualified not for moksha, liberation, like one who is doing bhakti. Mukti Devi goes after that person that, okay, oh, please take mukti, please take mukti. But the devotee is never after liberation. Devotee is after devotional service. What is the ambition of devotee? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmaneshware bhavatad bhaktir ahaituke tvai na dhanam na janam na sundarim. I do not want any wealth. I do not want janam. I do not want fame. And I do not want opposite sex. And kavitam va jagadisha kame. I do not want those intelligence, panditya, writing poetry, this, that also I don't want. Okay. Then what do you want? If are this is what entire material world is after, then if you do not want this, then uh, I do not even want liberation also. Arey, what is this? I thought like this liberation is what you were after. No, 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 no. Mama Janmaneshware, birth after birth. Bhavatad bhaktir ahetuki tvai. I want uninterrupted devotional service, unmotivated and uninterrupted devotion. Ahaituki, unmotivated and uninterrupted devotional service at your lotus feet. That's what I want. Okay, so when one is developing that kind of a mood, then what happens? They are getting eligible to go back on their path to Godhead. And what is this? In the path to Godhead, they will be in the planet of Krishna. And there are many devotees before they left their body. They revealed what is how at the end of their life the spiritual world opens up to them, and how Prabhupada is actually orchestrating. Their seva is assigned. So let's say when we are doing deity service, we give a glass of water to Krishna, here to a deity. Now let's say Krishna is sitting right beside us, and we have been asked to give water to Krishna. How will it be? Think about it, okay? How will it be? When we are singing for Krishna, it does not matter. We may have a bad throat in this, and okay, it may not sound very musical, or it may not sound very good in tune. But if we are singing from our heart, okay, Krishna is listening to it just like a parent. Okay, parently, okay, I know Vatsal Prabhu has a very has Tulsi. Now, if I had like my son Mohan, like, okay, when he was growing, like, okay, he may be just saying like, okay, some wobbled words, like, okay, but who cares about that? Okay, for a parent, those words are the most nectarian words. Or he spoke something. He's saying something, and I'm thinking, okay, he's saying, yeah. I'm thinking, okay, he said Krishna. Because that is the heart of a parent. Okay. And Krishna is the Supreme Father. We may be singing like, okay, Besure. Neighbors may be getting trouble. Arey, what? This guy, as soon as he speaks, my head starts spinning actually. But Krishna is listening. Just a supreme loving Father. Okay. When we are chanting, if we are crying out, today only I was hearing one very, very nice speech by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. He was saying that we have to cry out for Krishna. So when we are crying, if we are not able to cry for Krishna, we should understand that our heart is very, very, it's not simple. It's very rock solid. That is why we are not able to cry. And we should cry because our heart is rock solid. Okay. So it is like a rock. And who becomes qualified to go back to Godhead? One whose heart is simple. One who does not have any ulterior motives. Nishkapat. One who is Nishkapat, that person becomes eligible to go to that planet. So the the whole thing is in our hand. If I want to be degraded, then I can prepare in this life to be degraded, and in the next life I will be in the degraded zone. Okay. If I if I if I associate with alcoholics, automatically I may not be an alcoholic, but automatically after some time, what will happen is I'll automatically become an alcoholic. If I associate with smoker, I will automatically become a smoker. If I associate with illicit sex mongers, the result is I will automatically become an illicit sex monger. If I associate with devotees, automatically I will become a devotee. And if I associate with those devotees who are very, very determined, okay, to go back to Godhead in this lifetime only, then what will happen is it is like the Mumbai locals. You have to be there in that station when the train comes. Everyone will push from behind. You are also in that train, okay, and then you are having the most blissful life. I'll tell one short thing actually. I recently, about 6 months back, I met one person in the temple of Shishi Radha Kunjabiyari. So they had come with their one only son, and this Mataji was a devotee, and her Prabhu was favorable, but he was not into this devotional aspect actually. So this Mataji and Prabhu, they like I was speaking about something about Srila Prabhupada actually. I was just besides Prabhupada when they came and they also just entered the temple, they paid obeisances, and I was just speaking something about Prabhupada. Like I was glorifying Prabhupada. So they felt interested, they heard that and they felt interested, so they sat down. And this Mataji said, look, I'm chanting, I'm doing this and this. And I looked at Prabhu, like, Prabhu, what about you? Who said, I'm not chanting. I don't like chanting. And Prabhu, like, okay, I said, like, okay, do you have any struggles in your life? So he said, yeah, I become very angry actually at times. And I become so angry that what I do, I also don't get to know, like, okay, I am totally out of my mind. Then I said, okay, you should just try to chant one round, like, okay, start with that, and okay, just keep coming to this temple. Okay, for sure, okay, your life is going to change. So just last weekend we had the Jagannath Rath Yatra. So I met this Prabhu. I've been meeting him, like, okay, he keeps coming to the temple. So he was telling me, "Oh Prabhu, what will I tell you? My life became so blissful after that day. It is, I like basically like, okay, I am in so much joy. Okay, I cannot even think. Like, okay, and then he was telling me that now I just think that okay, I just want to be here only. I don't want to go anywhere else. Okay, he was saying that okay, like for this Jagannath Rath Yatra, devotees were doing flyer distribution, they were doing book distribution. So he keeps looking, who is the next team that will go for some distribution? Oh, flyer distribution, okay, let me join here. Book distribution, okay, let me join here. So he goes with his family here and there, and okay, he says that every opportunity is so much to learn. Like even if someone is telling me something bad, like, then I feel okay, Krishna is teaching me through that. So I was really thinking, I was really contemplating on that fact, like, how wonderful, like, um, Krishna is. So if we want to elevate ourselves, that highest perfection of life, then to become, we were talking about becoming associate of Lord, we should prepare ourselves like that. And it is said, if you go to the ninth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, there is one verse, I don't remember the exact all the words, but Yanti Deva Vrata, it starts with this. That means one who worships the demigods, they will go to that planet and they will take birth. Krishna is saying that. Okay, one who is worshipping demigods, they will take birth in the demigods. One who worships ghosts and spirits, they will take birth among such ghosts and spirits only. That means their next birth will be a ghost. One who is worshipping the demigod, they'll become a demigod. One who is worshipping their ancestors, they will go to Pitri Loka. Okay, they'll be born in that. And one who worships me, that person will come back to me. Krishna is saying this. And so, no matter where the person is taking birth, what happens is, like, okay, if the person is going to Krishna, then he does not, then he need not come back to this material world again. But if he is going to demigods also has a certain lifespan. So after that lifespan is over, he has to come back into the material world. Same thing for ghosts and spirits. Like he'll be without a body. It's a very, very um, ghosts and spirits means it's a very degraded standard of life, and they are in too much trouble. Okay, and then if one goes to Pitrilok, then again, like, they will have to go through all these sufferings because they may be worshipping their ancestors, but their next generation they are not worshipping anyone. So we heard about that. If Shraddh is not done, then those people have to come down. Okay, they are in a very degraded life. Okay, that's how, like, okay, they suffer in Pitri planet, like um, where the next generation do not do the rituals, but one who is chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So by doing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it is also benefiting, like all the higher generations also, even in this human form of life. And I gave the example of Narsingadev, okay, when he tells Prahlad Maharaj that, okay, if you are, since you are there in this family, not only your father, but 21 generations, they will be liberated. So don't worry about your father, Prahlad. So then, so we talked about, like, okay, going to the spiritual world, becoming an associate of Lord. Now think about this, like, okay, if we have to now, many times, uh, like now, many times Vatsal Prabhu would leave a voice message for me and he would tell you, if you are coming to California, let's meet here, you can come over. Okay. And I went multiple times to stay with him also. So so he tells, like, okay, you know what, California has got a good weather, and if you come, like, okay, it's very pleasant. So when he tells, okay, we can go here, we can go there. That's how our friends tell, right? And then we make a plan. Okay, let's go there. So similarly, like if we have to go to this, and when we go there, what happens? Like if I'm going to California, I may not carry winter clothes there. I may carry, like, those things which are comfortable to wear there. So similarly, if we have to go to the spiritual world, we have to hear about the spiritual topics, and that way we are making ourselves ready to go to that world. Just like same thing, like in the material example, as I was telling about going to California. So 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 we have to hear about these topics. That's why it is important to hear Krishna Katha. That's why Shravanam, or hearing, is very, very important. Unless we hear what sort of God Krishna is, right? What sort, what is the, how is the place of Vaikunta? What is Golok Vrindavan? What is the modus operandi there? uh, we cannot be attracted, because see, if we hear about a place, oh, Disneyland, oh, you can do all these things, we that's how we relate, right? So that is why it says, that is why in this shloka it says gatasun agatasun. So there are two bodies. Okay. We talked about this, the gross and the subtle body. So the gross body may appear to be dead and gone. It may have stopped working, but we talked about that the subtle body carries over. The subtle body has not lost its life. The life is still there in the subtle body. And Krishna says that, like, so subtle body is carrying to the next life, and Krishna says that, okay, uh, that you have to come out of this subtle body also. How can we come out of that? That, so when we get the liberation, that subtle body, that egoistic life, okay, because we say, right, okay, this is mine, array, my house, this thing is mine, these are my kids, this, that, like, right? So uh, when we know that this body has to be left, then why should we cry for that body? If we know that this is my, uh, going back to the going back to the example that Nandini Priya Mataji reminded us, if we know that this house is on, we are staying as a tenement, we have rented this house, will we cry if that house is destroyed? Will we cry for this? Will not cry. Okay, because we know, okay, this is a rented house. Will we cry, like, okay, if we are thrown out of that house? No, will not. We know that, okay, oh, there is a term. Okay, I have to stay here. After that, I'm done with this. Okay, so we have entered into a term in this particular body. And that is why Krishna is saying that a learned man does not lament over this body. See, the whole question is that the soul is different from this body. So that is why uh, Krishna is saying that, okay, that Nanu Sochanti Pandita. Are, you are speaking learned words. You're like Pandit, you are speaking, but you are just a fool, number one. So, one, as per the scriptures, they say that one who is learned, he is not really concerned, he is not really concerned about the body. So I'll qualify this. When we say he's not concerned about this body, it's not that, okay, he does not take care of his body. You should understand that this body has been given to us by Krishna. Okay, we should use this body as a vehicle to do the things that are needed to satisfy who? Rishikesh, who is the master of the senses. Okay, so he is the person is most concerned with the activities of the soul. How can we keep ourselves, how can we keep our soul surcharged, getting the right association? Okay, at all point of time. Okay, how can I keep myself engaged in Krishna consciousness? I'm working, but during working, can I have some kirtan going on so that at least my ears are able to hear some kirtan? Okay, that way I am surcharging my soul. It may feel that okay, initially when we start doing this, right, it may feel that okay, oh, what is it? I am not really having taste for this. But as we keep doing, we'll see how our soul gets surcharged. So um, we are we are speaking of many different type of scenarios here. We spoke about the body, we spoke about this subtle, we spoke about the gross body, we spoke about the subtle body, we spoke about the soul. This concept of the soul will be further elaborated as we go further. So Krishna is chastising Arjun, saying that okay, you are posing like a very learned man, but you are fool number one, because your whole conception is you are going into a bodily conception. You, I mean, and that is how you are posing yourself as a learned man. So in Krishna's words, what he's saying is like in this material world, you might put it this way. Prabhupada says this, like, okay, one person may be very educated. He may be a PhD, he may be a master's, he may be whatever, postdoc, this, that, whatnot. But if he has got identification with only the body, he is not a learned man as per Bhagavad Gita. So not only Bhagavad Gita, but as per the Vedic literature, uh, he is not a learned man. This is the first instruction that Krishna gives to Arjuna. So if we have to make progress in spiritual knowledge, then this is something at least theoretically we should understand. I am not this body. I am a spirit soul. And this is the preliminary knowledge. This is not like advancement. This is the preliminary ABCD of this Bhagavad Gita. So in this context, we covered this topic like okay, that we are not this body. I want to ask anyone like okay, if anyone has any questions like here, or should we? I'm just thinking maybe we should conclude here and see if there are any questions. I wanted to cover this particular verse at a depth so that we are very clear about what gross body is, what subtle body is, what soul is, so that like, okay, we just the next verse itself we say that okay, dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara prapti dhiras tatrana muhyate, as one living entity, as as the living entity, as the embodied soul moves from one body to another, it is very similar to just like we are changing dresses. Okay, so we could be changing dresses, and Nandini Priya Mataji was telling previously, okay, so when we get a new dress, what we become? We become happy. So there is absolutely nothing to be worried, especially for one who is in Krishna consciousness. Uh, there is absolutely nothing to be happy. We could see the urgency of Krishna consciousness one takes depending on like how sincere one is. Like if one thinks that okay, if in this life only somehow or other I really want to cross this material bridge, like okay, then if one becomes very, very surrendered to Krishna, okay, and what does surrender means? Um, su- um, Surrender means like okay, that we start listening to the instructions of Krishna. We start adhering to the instructions of Krishna. And it begins by following the, um, firstly, what are the do's and don'ts? Understanding what are the do's and don'ts. The do's are that we should remember the ABCD rule. What is the ABCD rule? We should be in the right association. We should uh, then that means getting devotee association, especially those devotees who are very fixed up, like who are determined that, so someone like Srila Prabhupada, one who is in alignment with Srila Prabhupada, we should take association of those devotees. Okay, because there are many devotees. Okay, there may be some new devotees, some senior devotees, but we have to understand, we have to very carefully judge, like, okay, before we take association, that, okay, am I finding this person very much in alignment with Srila Prabhupada? This is very, very important. And from our heart, we'll get signal that, okay, that I am getting inspired to do devotional service if I come in contact with this devotee. Then that association we should not leave. Okay. And second one is B. So we talked about A, association. B is books. Reading Srila Prabhupada books. So reading Srila Prabhupada books is very, very important. And I would highly encourage, I was reading this book, The Path to Perfection, um, very recently, like, okay, last week, I was reading this. This is a very, very wonderful book, very easy flowing book. Okay, and it tells us about it goes, especially like, okay, if one is a uh, one has worked in uh, corporates or in industry, one will be able to very easily relate to everything. I was just thinking, okay, who is the real audience for this? And I was thinking, okay, one who has worked in an office, one who understands this, like, okay, that person will very, very easily relate to this book, The Path to Perfection. So reading books is very important. So obviously Bhagavad Gita is there. Our Vatsal Prabhu is also reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Lalu Kaku is reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Nandini Priya Mataji. Here Ashok Kishore Charan Prabhu is reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. Nandanani Pavani Mataji, so parents. So then we have C. C is chanting. Chanting is very essential. Now remember one thing I want to just mention. See, how many of us are there um, who are enjoying chanting? So sometimes, like, it may so happen, we may not enjoy doing this chanting, but I just recently heard something from my spiritual master. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. So Guru Maharaj was saying that if we struggle for chanting, right? If we struggle for hearing the names of Krishna while we are chanting, while our mind is just going here and there, we are struggling to hear the name of Krishna. That means we are striving, with every moment we are striving, we are progressing. This is, if we are striving every day, okay, as we have, we could be doing one round, we could be doing whatever number of rounds we are doing, but we should at least inform someone, okay, whom we consider that, okay, how many rounds we are doing, so that, okay, what will happen is, if we inform someone, then by informing someone, we feel accountable that, okay, yes, okay, let me do that much round, let me not fall below. If only I know, then what will happen is, I may fall down that number. Okay, I may uh, this is an, and plus what will happen is, the other person who, if that person is like, preferably if that person is senior to us, then in, at least in the devotional path, then in that case what happens is, that person prays for us, so that we are able to be here and we are able to advance further. So that is C, chanting. So we may like or we may not like, but we should at least try to do this. It is, Srila Prabhupada gives us very wonderful example of the sugarcane juice. Initially, one may not like the sugarcane juice if one has jaundice, because he's in a disease condition. But as the person gets cured of his disease, the nectar of the sugarcane juice, like, okay, it comes out. I remember especially sugarcane juice, like, okay, when I was in my 12th grade, my father used to take me every day, like, okay, while it was time for exams, like, okay, okay, let's time for sugar. Which exam is that? It was least important. I would wait for that sugarcane juice, like, okay, and that was uh, I still remember the place and where the shop was also. It was, that is the power of the nectar, actually. So Srila Prabhupada is relating us to sugarcane juice for that reason. And I'm sure our Vatsal Prabhu may also know many places, okay, especially in Bhavnagar. So we talked about chanting, and D is diet. Diet, it is very, very important that um, we have, whatever we take, we are able to offer it to Krishna. Sevan mukhe jivado. Srila Prabhupada uses this word. So first thing is first thing of our surrender starts by surrendering our tongue. This tongue is the most dangerous element. Okay. Sharira avidya jal jodendriya tahekal. Okay. Our this body is filled with ignorance, and this tongue wants to speak something which is not Krishna conscious. It wants to comment everywhere, and this tongue wants to taste everything it sees around. Okay, so we have to we have to have that tendency to control this tongue, okay, by offering everything to Krishna. Okay, at least okay, when we start with okay, if there is no onion, garlic, vegetarian food, no mushroom, when we are having that, then at that time okay, we offer it to Krishna, even if we are having it outside. But this food, like we have to understand, may not be cooked with love for Krishna. So we have to come to a state where we are able to offer to Krishna with love. Okay. And if we are unable to do that for some reason or other, we should beg Krishna that Krishna, please protect me. I am in this situation. I'm very fallen. We should cry out, or tears should fall that okay, that I really want to surrender. So when we really cry out, okay, Krishna hears that anything, because he's not like he's in Golok Vrindavan, but he's fixed up. He's in our heart as well. He can hear it. When we are crying out while chanting, he can hear it. He's very close to us. If we don't, if we consider him far, he's far off. If we consider him near, he's next to us actually. That is Krishna. So we talked about this ABCD. Those are the things to do. And what we should avoid? We should avoid the four regulative principles. We should be very strict about that. No meat eating. That means no meat eating means no eggs also. Okay, we should try to avoid onion, garlic, actually, because these are food in the mode of ignorance. Then no intoxication, including tea and coffee. Tea and coffee is also in the mode of ignorance. It is in this, it takes us away from this God consciousness. And then there is no illicit sex. So anything outside of the marriage, okay, we should not be. We should be very, very careful. And fourth is no gambling. So this gambling is obviously not in casinos, but then okay, um, nowadays like there is investors, share brokers. Okay. So this when we are into this um, share market, okay, that is also gambling. So we should be very, very careful not to engage in this. Um, and and because these are the things which will not allow us to focus on Krishna. I knew one friend of mine, he would he would be investing in so many different types of share market in different countries also. All night and all day, he will be just doing all this only. Okay, oh, this market is now live. Okay, this market going up, that market going down, this, that. Okay. So when we have, it puts tremendous, like the mind is constantly revolving, how can I make more? How can I make? When we want to make more, then we will not get Krishna. When we focus on Krishna, then the world aligns in its place. And which is why when Arjuna and Duryodhan went to Krishna to ask for help, Krishna asked, "Aapko kya chahiye? What do you want? The no, the Navaratna Sena, or do you want that? Uh, do you want me? I will not even fight." Navaratna is that 9 lakhs of soldiers they are available, or you want me? This 9 lakh soldiers they have never lost a war. On the other side is me. Which one you want? He gave chance to Arjun because he saw Arjun first. Arjun said, like, Krishna, I want you only. And Duryodhan, like, okay, he was like, what fool he is, like, okay, like, his chance is gone. Good. I want that only. The 9 lakh soldiers only I want. And Duryodhan just, he smiled and he walked away. thinking that, okay, this Arjun is just a fool number one. But Krishna asked him, Arey, Arjun, why did you select me? I am not even going to fight. He said, I don't care, Krishna, if I lose or not. I just want you only. So we should, what is Arjun teaching us? Srila Prabhupada, if you remember, we discussed this earlier. Srila Prabhupada is telling us that, okay, we can understand Bhagavad Gita if we get in the mood of Arjun. Arjun's mood is no matter what. I want Krishna only. One pointed. Okay, this, if we have that one pointed determination that I want Krishna, by somehow or other, I want Krishna, then Vyavasayatmaka Buddhi, Ete Kurunandana. Vyavasayatmaka Buddhi means just like a businessman. Businessman is like somehow hook or crook, I want to earn money. We should have that Vyavasayatmika Buddhi that by hook or crook, I want Krishna. Okay, so if we have that one pointed determination, no matter all the allurements of the world will come. That is why Mahaprabhu is teaching us, na dhanam, na janam, na sundar. We should be very, very careful not to take any exit. We should be on the highway only. So, and what should be our goal? Pure devotion. Pure devotion to Krishna. We should always pray for this. Krishna, please give me pure devotion to you. I need Shuddha Bhakti. I want to be Nishkapat. I don't want to be selfish. Uh, I don't want all these different type of allurements. I want you only. I want to be at your lotus feet. I want to serve Srila Prabhupada because he's a pure devotee. As soon as we bring Srila Prabhupada's name, it becomes very easy. The journey becomes very, very easy. And with that, I will conclude. Sorry, it went over for longer. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, everyone. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. जगत कृष्ण प्रभुपाद की जय श्री भगवान श्री कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण की जय भक्त अर्जुन सखा की jai. With that, I will just stop the recording, and if anyone has any